Hello, this video will introduce the final project in this course, which is to take the poster that you created for the Cleveland International Film Festival and create marketing materials with that theme, the imagery, and in some cases the same content. In some cases you will revisit, do you need to add more content? Do you need to take content away? That's going to be part of this project as well. But a lot of times when something like a film festival or even a movie opening or, a poster for a rock tour, band tour, concert, oftentimes the poster is the thing that kind of gets people's attention, announces that the thing is happening, gives the details about when, where, all that kind of stuff. And then once you get to the event, there is other marketing materials, so t-shirts and swag and merchandise. Along with that poster advertising the event, you might also have billboards and street pole signs and social media posts. So that's what we're going to focus on today. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to take the look and feel of your International Film Festival poster design layout, so the fonts, the colors, the imagery, and you're going to select 3 of the following 5 elements to design and expand your project. So these elements are all outdoor marketing elements. So a billboard, a bus shelter sign, street pole banners, social media ads. If you do social media ads, you need to do 3. So you need to do X, Instagram, and Facebook. And then you could also, if you are familiar with After Effects or maybe you've learned Final Cut Pro, you can do a 30-second teaser or commercial. Most students don't, do this because you might not have had motion design yet, or you might not know how to use After Effects. But if you wanted to, if you did know how to use those software programs, you absolutely can make a video. And then you also were required to create 3 merch/wearable designs. So t-shirts, hats, mugs, hoodies, that kind of thing. But I also, I didn't really give you a set list because there could be merch ideas that go with your theme that are a little bit different than something that I would have never thought about before. So you will also need to mock these up. So you will do Google searches or go to, Adobe Stock or any of those mock-up sites. And I have a video, we'll do a video discussion kind of showing you how to use those. Some of you may have already used them in the past, but you'll design these elements flat and you'll also design them, create mock-ups with them. So what you'll turn in for your final is just a multi-page PDF of all of your materials with the flat version and the mocked up version. You might say, what happens if I'm doing a billboard? Do I have to design to do a billboard size? No, you'll find an image of a billboard. So say, this billboard right here, you'll find an image of a billboard and you'll kind of approximate what size that billboard is. You'll design your design on, it could even just be an 8.5 by 11. This is never going to be printed huge, so you can just design it to what you're going to be placing it on in the end. And then, bring it into Photoshop, bring it into a mock-up. One of the things you will need to consider is that, if you do a bus shelter sign, of course, your poster probably will pretty much fit into that bus shelter sign straight on. Like you might not have to do anything to it. But in the case of a double street pole banner, you will have to figure out, how am I going to break up my poster design into 2 panels instead of 1 panel and make it look cohesive? If I do buttons or a t-shirt, do I have to have everything on it? The t-shirt could just have your theme, maybe some imagery, definitely the Cleveland International Film Festival logo, but you probably don't have to put location. You might not have to put dates. You might not have to put the URL. I'm kind of going to let you guys think about that. If you think about this cup, another thing to take into consideration, if you look at the work from this student, her poster had a lot of imagery and layering and photographs. Those probably wouldn't translate well onto a t-shirt. She didn't just take this art and slap it as a rectangle on the t-shirt. She pulled some elements out. She did this so that it was more typographically focused. Same thing for the mug, but it still holds the look and feel of the original poster. And that's what I'm looking for here. If you think about this designer, actually, his poster was horizontal. So then he had to think about, how am I going to translate my horizontal poster into a vertical bus shelter sign, into a vertical street pole banner? How am I going to show this on a hat? And he kind of did this embroidery effect. In the t-shirt, he did the sort of the logo design on the front and the film festival logo on the back. So you can be really creative with this. In this case, this student's theme was kaleidoscope. So she had this beautiful sort of kaleidoscope imagery, and then she ended up making for her merch an actual kaleidoscope that had cards that you could switch out to see the light. So there's a lot of really creative things you can do with this. I'm going to create another video that's more of a micro lecture based on just, how to use the mock-ups and to research what kind of merch you should find, and just different examples like that. So this is just the introduction. So make sure you read through the instructions carefully. We will sort of have, same thing with determining what materials you're going to create, start collecting imagery, and then start thinking about how to use the elements of your poster on your marketing materials. So if you have any questions after you read through this or watch this video, let me know via email.